Okay, hi everyone. Hi, Des.
Hi.
So I will be presenting Palabra, which is segment IO for emails. What we do is we help companies email users based on what they do. So let's say a new user sign up, you want to send a welcome email. You can do this very easily with our app. But you want to do more complex stuff, like I want to wait 2 days and then send them some onboarding advice. I can do that too. And these are all cards, so you can just move them around and change the sequence of emails to make it fit your needs. And you don't even need to think about the sequence of emails. You can just pick one of our templates for the most use cases. For example, let's say a user searched for a product but they didn't buy. You pick one of these templates. And you don't even really need to write the emails. We have a lot of emails written for you for basic stuff like welcoming users, offering them advice, or asking for feedback. And you can, of course, edit all these emails before sending them to the users very easily. So why are we building this? Companies need to improve sales and retention, and they need to send better segmented messages to do it. And the problem is that the tools we use for email marketing today were created a long time ago, and sending these segmented messages is kind of hard. And what's interesting is that companies already have a lot of data about their users in the platforms they use. Like you can email all your, for example, paying customers. You just connect Stripe and we know who your paying customers are. You don't need to fill a form to do it. So you can do very interesting stuff like emailing your paying customers who logged in last week, who bought your product once, for example. We launched 3 weeks ago. We have 150 users. We are growing 20% weekly. And the way customers find us is mostly through content and direct sales. This is me. I'm a software engineer. I've been working full-time on this project for the past 2 months. And that's it. We are live on product hunt. So if people in the audience want to vote, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. This is awesome. As you'd guess, I actually know this space pretty well.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, way back when we sort of shipped the first version of products like this. It's obviously over the last 10 years, this area has grown significantly. Where do you think your competitive angle will be against, I'll leave intercom out of it, but like let's say ConvertKit or let's say customer.io?
Yeah. I think the way we started is by talking to a very specific group of users, which in our case is non-technical people who use tools like Zapier and Airtable, tools like that. So we help them integrate very easily with the tools they use. For these users, tools like Customer.io is extremely expensive and it's very hard to use. So we help them with simple UX, better pricing, basically.
And the simple UX comes from the idea of like it's effectively no code, is that right? Or is there also a coded version if you want it? Or
you can integrate directly with JavaScript and more complex stuff,
gotcha,
but you can do everything without code if you need to.
that makes sense. If you're not using the coded version, I presume your triggers are restricted to what's surfaced by the connections you've put in. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For the customers who are using you, are they using drip or triggered emails for the first time, or are they switching from competitors?
That's a good question. I think most of the users that are using it today were looking for something like this and couldn't find anything that suit their needs. So I would think that is the first time they're doing it. We have
Okay.
some bigger customers who are moving from something else, but most people are doing it for the first time.
When you think about like let's say the future of email, for lack of a better word, do you anticipate branching into like either like browser notifications or like using modern messaging tools, say like Push or Slack or something like that as an alternative?
Definitely. I think what's interesting is trying to improve customer communication, whatever customers are. And we started with emails because it's maybe a problem that people feel they have today, but
Yeah.
they would definitely need to move to other spaces soon.
And I presume I'm going to get out of time in a second, but uh, another area I guess something we have bumped into and I've seen a lot of our competitors bump into is like as you scale email, you run into all sorts of interesting problems. One of which is, like, say, trust and credibility and deliverability and send stats. People will use your tool to spam, and they will use your tool in malicious and nefarious ways. Have you invested anything in that yet, or is that kind of like the future's problem?
Yeah, I think our main tool against that today is that we only let you build like your list of customers based on people who made some event on some of your apps or somewhere else. You cannot import a list of contacts today. I think that's like a good measure today, but in the future, yeah.
Cool. And then my very last question is, as this grows, do you expect to stay at the, relatively speaking, like the bottom of the market, so like a large number of small users, or do you expect moving up market and having like closer to enterprise customers who will want like Marketo integrations and all sorts of like attribution metrics and all that sort of stuff? Do you have an opinion on which you'll do?
Yes, I would prefer to move into the enterprise world a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. This is really, really good. Congrats.
Thank you so much.